Hey everyone, welcome back. So glad you're joining us for today's explainer, because we're doing something a little bit different, and honestly, I think it's super fascinating. Instead of tearing into some huge academic paper or digging through data, we're actually looking at the raw anatomy of human curiosity itself. We've got this incredible linguistic artifact, basically a dense, passionate, single-paragraph wall of text. It's a massive string of unpunctuated questions, and our goal today is to use the structural logic of the English language to parse it out, translate it, and figure out exactly what this author is so desperately trying to learn. Let's just jump right in. Okay, let's dive into our raw source material. It's written in Roman Urdu, meaning it's Urdu vocabulary but written out using the English alphabet, and man, it reads like an absolute flood of historical curiosity. Notice there's literally no punctuation, no breaks. It's just pure, unadulterated passion pouring out. So our challenge for this explainer is to treat this whole thing like a giant linguistic puzzle. We're going to strictly translate it into English piece by piece and bring some logical structure to this wildly unstructured wall of text. To make that happen, here's our roadmap for today. 1. Decoding a historical inquiry. 2. Translating the first battle. 3. Locating the conflict. 4. Identifying the victors. And 5. The demand for detail. Let's bring some intense, logical English language order to this passionate wall of text. Section 1. Decoding a historical inquiry, setting the context. Now, before we get completely lost in the microscopic translation of all those individual sentences, we have to zoom out for a second. We actually have one major structural clue, an overarching title from the source document. The first victory, the Battle of Badr. This English title is absolutely crucial. It's our anchor. The entire chunk of Roman Urdu text we're about to unpack revolves entirely around this specific historical event. The author's firing off a million questions, but we as the analysts know right from the get-go that the answers all point back to the Battle of Badr. Keeping this English title in the back of our minds is going to be our guiding light as we navigate the translation. Moving on to Section 2, translating the first battle, doing some micro to macro mapping.
So what's really interesting here is how the author kicks off their inquiry. The raw text reads Islam ki Sabse Badi Jung, which translates directly into English as Islam's biggest and first battle. Just by isolating this opening phrase, the author's intense focus becomes super clear. They aren't just asking about some random historical skirmish, right? The English translation highlights words of massive scale and chronological importance, biggest and first. Right out of the gate, the language is telling us that the author views this event as a completely monumental, foundational moment in history. And to be incredibly precise with our English language mapping, let's zero in on the phrase Badi Jung. Translated directly, that means first battle. But remember our anchor title from a minute ago? Because of that source title, we can fully contextualize this. Every single time the author says first battle, we know for a fact they are referring specifically to the Battle of Badr. We're essentially linking this generalized translated term directly back to the specific historical English title of our source. All right, Section 3, locating the conflict, shifting to the where. As the author's sentence keeps rolling on without taking a single breath, we hit the next phase of our linguistic deconstruction. And here, the focus violently shifts from the what to the where. The text says, Kisne ki thi, kis mulk mein hui thi, which translates to, who fought it, in which country did it happen? Notice the incredibly rapid-fire nature of this run-on sentence. Like we said, no periods, no commas in the original text. The English translation beautifully captures this sudden pivot. 1 second they're asking about the combatants, who fought it, and literally in the exact same breath, they're demanding geographical context, in which country did it happen. It's just a breathless pursuit of facts. In which country did it happen? By pulling this specific English question out of that massive block of text, we can really emphasize the sheer volume of unknowns the author is dealing with. Think about it. They know the battle is huge, they know it's the first, but they're essentially starting from absolute zero when it comes to the basic facts of geography and participants. They are desperately trying to uncover the fundamental building blocks of this entire historical event. Section 4, identifying the victors, building momentum. Now, in this next sequence, you can really feel the passion intensifying. The source says, Or kisne jeeti thi, wa khan the, jisne Islam ki Badi Jung jeeti. Translating to, and who won it? Who were they who won Islam's first battle? I mean, check out the rhetorical repetition there. They ask, who won it? And then immediately rephrase it to ask again, who were they who won? The urgency of the author is structurally laid bare through this translated English phrasing. They aren't just casually wondering, they are emphatically demanding to know the exact identity of the victors.
So the absolutely crucial unanswered question boils down to simply who won the first battle. This right here is the emotional core of the entire historical inquiry. The author repeated it multiple times within a single breathless sentence just for pure emphasis. By stripping away all the surrounding text and focusing our English translation onto this one clean question, we capture the absolute heart of what the author wants to know. Finally, Section 5, the demand for detail, the ultimate request. Now that the author has laid out this massive list of historical questions, they make a pretty fascinating transition. They say, "Isme full video detail bana kar do," which translates to, "Make a full detailed video on this." The entire paragraph pivots from a string of historical curiosities into a direct, highly specific demand for output. They don't just want a quick text answer, they want a comprehensive visual presentation. They're explicitly asking someone to make a full, detailed video. And to truly grasp the weight of this request, we really have to break down that final run-on clause into a clear, structured English framework. The user's criteria for a successful answer are basically threefold. Step 1, make a full video. Step 2, provide detail. Step 3, include everything. By imposing this highly logical English language numbered list onto their breathless demand, we showcase exactly what the user expects. It's a pretty tall order, but it's clearly born out of deep, deep fascination. And this brilliantly illustrates the climax of the text. The translation of that final phrase, "Jisme hard detail me har cheez I," translates so powerfully to every detail, everything included. This represents the absolute peak of the author's historical curiosity. They don't want a summary, they don't want a cliff notes. They want every single grain of truth they can possibly get their hands on regarding the Battle of Badr. It's this amazing, uncompromising thirst for knowledge, captured perfectly in those few English words. So we've taken a super passionate, totally unstructured run-on request and used the English language to map it, structure it, and really understand the deep curiosity driving it. But you know, seeing this level of uncompromising fascination from our original author makes me wonder about your own passions. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. What historical event makes you want to know absolutely every detail? Think about it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.